Hi, I'm Shane from Admin Arsenal. Let's build a package in PDQ Deploy. I've created my own folder here called My Custom Packages. Just so you know, anything that you import from the package library will go into Packages folder by default. I just like to break them up a little bit. It's up to you. To create a new package, simply click New Package. And you can fill out some of the information in the properties. Notice how Properties node is selected. We're going to install Silverlight. You can do the version, although the version is not terribly important. A lot of people actually just place the version they want, I think just right there or whatever this latest version is. You have other options here when you're building this, such as push mode, the copy mode. This inherits the default. If these installation files are going to exist on a file server that's not the console machine, we recommend that you use pull. It'll save you some network bandwidth. If, however, these files are stored locally on this console, then you're better off using push. We are going to scan after deployment. This only works if you have PDQ inventory in pro mode. And we'll cover run as later on a little bit more in depth. Offline status, you can use the preferences. We'll just keep that as it is now. And then we go down to our steps. You want to create your first step. Usually it's going to be an install step. Notice all the different types of steps though. You can have a command step where you run one or more commands. Basically it's like a batch file. PowerShell, nested package where you can call another package, etc. We'll just do install. Install is what you would use to call a setup.exe or an MSI file. So here's our step one. We'll just call this install Silverlight. And we'll do 32-bit for this one. I've got these files located out here on a file share. So remember, I'm going to be using this file share. In this case, that's why I set this to do a pull copy mode. Just paste that, click this button, and there's Silverlight. There's the 32-bit version of it. So we'll say OK, and it looks like this is 5.1, not 5.2. I apologize. All right, so now I've got this exe. Very important, however, we said this is 32-bit. We're going to change the conditions. The OS architecture will only run if it's a 32-bit operating system. Go back to details. One of the most important parts of building your packages, your silent parameters. Now, if it's an MSI file that you've chosen here, we ought to already know what those are. You can customize them even further, but we know how to make that silent. And exe, we don't. You have to supply that. A great way of doing that is actually to look to see if there's a usage statement. I'm going to click this, go to run. I'm just simply going to I'll drag the 64-bit since this is a 64-bit system here. A space / question mark will often bring up what's known as a usage window or a usage statement. It gives you some idea on how to run this thing quietly. And you notice it's simply a /q in the case of Silverlight. And this varies per vendor, per application. So sometimes you'll see a /uppercase or a / very silent. It all depends. You kind of have to do your homework. But we know that we can do a /q right there for the parameters to make sure that it runs quietly. And I'm just simply going to duplicate this and rename that second step to 64-bit. Change the condition to say only run on 64-bit. And then change that file and point it to the 64-bit file for Silverlight. Perfect. Now I've covered pretty much all the bases I need. I just hit save. Notice I got my parameters set for both the /q. And now I can simply deploy. To deploy, you can hit Control-D or hit the deploy button, deploy once. Of course, obviously, you can schedule this. Choose your targets however you want. We'll just do a couple of easy ones here. We'll type these in and make it faster. I've chosen a 32-bit and a 64-bit system, by the way, and hit deploy. If you find that the deployment seems to hang, chances are especially hanging on one of those install steps, chances are you don't have the correct silent parameters. It's really important to nail those down. That's where the vendor site, Google comes in, very, very handy. Just simply go out there and Google install Silverlight silent or quiet, and you'll find that information. Notice Cunningham was successful. When you're talking about your deployments, you simply push that, you click that steps button, and you can see the steps that have been run. Notice it never ran on Cunningham step 2 because it's the wrong architecture. Cunningham is 32-bit. And Costanza is currently running the 64-bit, but it skipped the first step because, once again, it is not a 32-bit machine. So that's how you can do it. That's building a package, very basic, in PDQ Deploy. If you have any questions, hit up our support forums. Thanks.